So what actually has been developed by Afrexim Bank and the FTFT Secretariat is a system that will allow you to do your transaction in your local currency. Whether you are importing or you are exporting, you don't care about you buying dollars or not. In Uganda versus Ghana, you will pay as importer, for you're importing a good from Ghana based in Uganda, you pay in Uganda shilling, and your partner, trade partner, will get the money in Ghana cedis. That's actually what is happening with the platform that is called PAPS, Pan-African Payment and Settlement Service. This is ready to also push up, intra-African trade. Unfortunately, our colleagues from Afrexim Bank are not here, but basically what is happening here is what you will do if you go to the bank. So what basically you do, you go to the bank, you buy USD to be able to pay the exporter in the country, or you have to make a transfer and others. But you will not need to care about that anymore. Through this system, you as a sender, you send in local currency, franc CFA, shilling, whatever you have in your country. The bank, Afrexim Bank, through a system with central bank and commercial banks, are taking care of that exchange rate for you, for your trade partner in the receiving country to be able to get the money in local currency. So that tool or that instrument is going to save cost. Of course, there is an exchange rate, right? Because but for you, your exchange rate now will be in Chile versus cedis, because you pay shilling and the person gets cedis. And this will then make you avoid having to pass through euros, USD, and so and so. So that is what is good about this system. But again, you will not go directly to Afrexim Bank. Of course, you have to pass through your local banks. So Afrexim Bank and Central Bank, they are working with a number of commercial banks to provide that service. That's not only about under the AFCFTA, that's really for the intra-African trade. So that is it for PAPS. That's the system, that's the way. So for you, you don't care about what is happening in here within the banks. You don't follow, you don't do anything. You go, you pay in your currency, and then your trade partner will instantly receive the money in that case. The issue is that partner will not get the money in USD, but in local currency. Yeah, it has been piloted in Waimu and some ECOWAS countries. So yeah, normally more central banks need to come on board, and commercial banks as well. So at the beginning, you will not have all the commercial bank provided the service, because it's a process. So for the rest of the question, maybe I'm sure colleagues will link you up with Afrexim Bank, and then they can also respond specifically on that.
So it's the bank's exchange rate that applies?
Yeah, everything has a cost. So now, my sense is, in terms of cost, it will, in terms of time first, in terms of the amount of money, because in many countries, there is even a regulation vis-a-vis the amount you can transact on, right? So those will not be your headache when you have the PAPS, because you are making your transaction actually in local currency. Yeah, so it will save in terms of time, in terms of cost. So you not need to, sometimes you have even to go to USD, then they will say the correspondent is in Europe. They will go to EU. And by the time you got the money, you will see that, the cost is very high. I don't know, sometimes we do some transaction to US, And every transaction, you can, even single transaction, you pay $5 to $100 for transaction, and they are applying their own exchange rate, which means we are losing a lot. Yeah, so having a direct transaction from one currency to another, yeah, but the exchange rate, of course, there is always a gap that usually profit for the bank. But at least you will not need to care about going to look for USD and other centers. Yeah. Okay, so just you can also visit the website. I think all this will be shared with you, and then you can go through to understand and see, you know, if your country is part of it, and the contact of the Afreximbank team working on this will be given. Who knows where Afreximbank is based, apart from the trade experts? Not Linda, not ITC. Afreximbank is based where?
Ghana.
West Africa.
Afreximbank has been working a lot with Secretariat, but they are not based in Accra. They are based in Cairo. They have a regional teams, yes. Do they have a team in Cameroon?
Yes, it's last baby of Afreximbank is Cameroon.
The last one?
The last branch.
They have a branch. They have a branch now in Cameroon. Okay. So the headquarters is in Cairo,